Okay everyone, I welcome you all to a new video. Today we are starting Dreams of Literature Noir. Now as you can see I have a new Sayori model. It looks interesting. I feel like it's alright. The hair is very fluid. Because yeah, it is from Sayori's POV from what I read. So yeah, let's see. Oh, the button noises. Ayo. Made for the DDLC community module 2. Okay. Whoa. Whoa. This looks neat. New game. Atazoth. My mind, an endless cascade of darkness, and yet somehow I thought I'd find solace in my dreams. I felt fortunate, really. Not many women had the privilege to work, and even less so in the law enforcement field. Assistant investigator. That's the title I'd like to be addressed as, although not many, if any, call me that. I wouldn't let that bring me down. To me, it was enough to be Miss Monika's right-hand gal. Sure, I was mainly there to type down the reports on her jobs, and oh boy, I sure like typing them up. But hopefully I might eventually follow her steps into the action and learn the ropes. Almost done. And... done. Ooh, that's cool. And a perfectly crafted to describe a multiple homicide. What would be any of us be without those twisted criminals? Am I right, miss? I tried to lighten the mood a little bit and have a chat with Miss Monika. Not that it was tense. Heck, we even had the turntable playing some tunes from time to time, but I didn't have to try to be on her good side. Yo! That's cool. Indeed, sir. Even though I wish crime scenes were a little cleaner for a change. Bloodstains are always a bitch to get rid of. Foul outfit as always, but there I try to correct her manners. Maybe I was just too naive thinking on manners, so I haven't seen the harsh reality of this profession. But could you blame me? My experience with crime scenes and cases were from the description she'd give me. I'd never seen a real corpse. Perhaps I needed to see some of that stuff, but I had my fill of gruesome texts. Ah, I wonder what a crime scene looks like with cops running around and all. This is like in Borges's books. Drama, mystery, action. Ah, sorry. You read too much fiction. You should really stop trying to escape reality with fairy tales. Well, reality isn't very kind to us, wouldn't you say, miss? Look, the job really isn't all that fantastic and thrilling. Most of the time we're investigating some old man who smuggled in a bit too much spirit or some blind pig in the heart of the city. I know, but I bet it's better than staying at the office typing reports. Ah, well, perhaps. Because right though, I did have a knack for reading fiction, although I wouldn't call them fairy tales. I really like the idea that there were good and bad guys. And that the good guys can solve impossible mysteries using only their wits and obscure clues, shutting down any hope for the dastardly villain. Oh, how many times have I written to Atazoth about this since I got the job? Would always sneak out to the library, rummaging through the shelves of fiction in the corner of the expensive halls. When I got hired by Miss Monika, we would chuckle about how I seemed to be living out all those cupcakers we used to read. He'd always say that I'd learn to speak, blood hell. I'd outgrow him one day, become a big shot private investigator and leave him in the dust. Had a very peculiar idea about himself. Said he wasn't gonna amount to much, and he liked it that way. Eventually I convinced him that I would never outgrow him, and we promised to always write each other and stay in contact. Which reminds me. Miss Monika? Yes? Did you get any correspondence by any chance? I've been waiting to get some responses to my letters. Unfortunately I didn't have the time to check because... Would you look at that? It seems that a new case beckons. Become the blower, she rested her laurels on her crowded desk as if it was some social call. Always so relaxed in the face of these horrible crimes. Like a man being thrown in the river is just another Tuesday for her. So confident and assertive that she's gained the respect of all the bulls she met. A looker like her, she makes the men around her swoon, yet not dare to make a move. My neighbors have decided that today, on a Sunday, it is the best time to start drilling holes in the fucking walls. Alright, Rookie, I think you can come with me this time. It's a simple case. Huh? This caught me by surprise. Sure, I was wondering when I'd get to see some action, but all of a sudden, I did my best to keep my excitement at bay. Heck yeah! Yes sir, lady, woman, ma'am, I meant ma'am. I failed. I'm glad you showed me your excitement, lass. But hurry up, we have no time to waste. The longer we take, the less we make. Aren't we paid by the hour? We're paid by every solve, so we better solve this quickly. Mouse to feed and all that. Right. Lightning fast, she grabbed her Borsalino and made her way out. Barely gave me time to keep up. The city at night is another character. You'd expect it to be rather calm and relaxing, but when you look at the lonely faint lines illuminating the darkest alleys, your mind begins to race. I was stuck to the avenues and busy streets, but I can't deny it was a fascination with wanting to know what lurks behind the facade. What mysteries could it be hiding? What darkness lurks in the loneliest corners? And now I found my opportunity to see just that. Bro! Finally, the drilling stopped. So what's the case, boss? Well, nothing particularly interesting. Something up in the slums. Near the industrial district, apparently a body washed ashore on the riverbank. So the police wouldn't want to bother with a Parasot's finale. Do you have any clues on what happened? Clues? No, we're just going to take a look and write down notes on what we see. Basic survey, nothing more. You think this might be a murderer? Please. Let a chuckle echo through the barren streets. What, a body washed up by the shore seems like a murderer to me. And that's why I the rookie here, a little ass. We're the same age. I couldn't exactly agree with her train of thought. But again, maybe it was my eagerness to find something thrilling in the case. And, well, we hadn't arrived at the scene. Swaying through the industrial blocks buildings, we found our way to the river. The bridge was wearing a spectacle of lights, illuminated by what seemed to be deteriorating streetlights. The full moon reflected on the body of water, its light shimmering across the ripples. Speaking of bodies. There, I see the floater bobbing just ahead. Thank God we didn't have to get wet trying to find this sack of meat. Got it, take care, Phil. Report it back to me with what you see. Seriously, my eye. Yeah, knock yourself out. Whoa, the smokes. As she told me so, she pulled out a gas spray, moving it up on her lips and lighting it. As she saw me standing around waiting to be dismissed, she waved at me to go, almost like swatting away a fly. While I wasted any time, I jumped over the railing onto a river's bank, approached the swollen body. Natsuki! Bloody hell. A small girl, very petite. If I were anyone else, I would have almost mistaken her for a child. Just dressed in tattered rags, her body frail and stringy. I wasn't used to the look of people in the slums, but her appearance definitely gave away the fact that she's from around the area. It had no odor to it, thankfully. She must have been relatively new then. Before I could roll her on her back, I noticed the arms were twisted around, bones shattered. The neck was slim, and the face battered. It wasn't really all that bloated, so it might have hadn't been floating for long. I'm pretty sure this was a violent attack, miss. Maybe the attacker went too far and killed her. Want to get rid of the evidence and panicked. Just straight in the river, thinking I would find it. Yeah, that's not very convincing. She told me she lit another cig. After a long puff and a blow of smoke, she came back to me. Smoke? She has followed down the packet of cigarettes to my face as I was kneeling down by the body. Not one for those coffin nails. Suit yourself. Look, Sari, what I see here is a suicide victim. See the bridge? It's not uncommon to see folks jumping off of it. Well, but what are the bruises and broken bones it has all over it? Simple, it has been floating for a while now. Honestly, I'd be surprised if it didn't have any damage. The lack of odor shows that she's been recently offed. It's been in the water, bloating. Odor has not built up, but in the insides. Furthermore, bruises prove nothing anyway. Look a little closer. You see a faint yellowish discoloration. That, Dolly, indicates the bruising happened long before. Oh, I see. It made sense, but there was little detail in the logic that kept poking at my mind. All bruises, that many. But wouldn't that indicate it wasn't the first time she got attacked? Listen, that actually means you get your suicide motive. She got hit by some bird, whether it be a family member or other such things. Stop drilling in the walls! Get out of the walls, please! Drilling has stopped again. Hated her alive, jumped up my bed. I'm sorry, this is a fucking interesting continuing point. Congratulations, case closed. But that means that case closed. Let's go back to the office and write the report. Are you sure? Not many cases are this simple, so don't look a gift horse in the mouth, alright, lassie? Just settle and get whatever dough we can get. Alright. Come on, chop chop. She took the lead and I followed, as expected, with my assistant position, but still. I wasn't pleased with how everything went down. My every suggestion was shut down because she knew better. I don't call it anger, but a heavy disappointment is what I felt. With how we handled the body. Say, miss, what's going to happen with the body now? Oh. Well, technically, this is the police's work. This was a very low priority case, as you saw. They just don't bother a lot with the powder. They're just wrong. Justice is for everyone. Alright, lass, you don't go around puking on what you read from some novel. In the end, it's mine that makes the world go round. A detective from a precinct would never come here for this kind of case. It's simply not worth their time. So they're just going to let it rot at the river's bank? I can't deny that's a possibility. I don't like to think I drink the same water. Her laugh made me realize how she's able to shrug off any guilt she may have. Perhaps someday I'll be able to be as mentally strong. On the bright side, I did see my first corpse and barely reacted to that fact. It seems all that literary research wasn't a waste after all. Alright, sir, I know we may still be excited, but I think I'm going to leave the report to you. It's been a long night, so maybe you would want to leave it for tomorrow. I'm not coming in, miss. Nah, I'm done for tonight. We'll meet tomorrow evening. Sure thing. With a slight wave, she walked away to her apartment, leaving me at the office's door. She would let me stay at the office so I could use it to sleep at night to avoid renting. I was very grateful for that. Money wasn't easy to come by during these trying times. Even though I was about to collapse, I started to write a letter for Atazoth. I want to hear all about the events of today. In the morning, I could go to the post office and drop off the letter, so I began my report. I couldn't help but let out a small giggle. Oh, bloody hell, that's a lot. Nearest. Today's correspondence is dated Friday, the 1st of April. The last message received was dated Wednesday, 27th of January. I firmly inform you that I have seen my first corpse. Fortunately, I beat you to it. It would have been a shame if one of our kin had passed while I was away from home. Honestly, I thought it was going to be like we always imagined. An intricate case with millions of clues to follow, bad guys to track down. But reality struck me a little hard today, and apparently we don't get to investigate much in this investigation job. The victim in this case was a small-framed female, whose corpse was found floating in the river. Now, for my version of the story, I think she was murdered. She had her arms, bones shattered, and the neck was twisted around, and the face was all covered in old bruises, and that just couldn't have been an accident. Despite what I saw and thought, Miss Monika came to the conclusion that it was a suicide, without further investigation. Can you believe that? Well, like I said, in reality, it all came down to time invested and money issues. With other cases, and to her, this was an open and shut case, no fun allowed. I hope things are progressing more smoothly with you, and I can't wait to hear from you again. I miss you so much. With love, Sayori. I always thought it was cute how you would treat them like official reports. You didn't figure out the format. It kept the constant letters entertaining. I neatly fold the letter into 4 squares, place it in an envelope, to send it next morning. My synchronized fingers were on fire writing down the report as fast as I could before Monika's arrival at the office. And I learned to do my backlog before it was too late. My darned laziness continued to chase me. Why, hello there, my curl lass. Working hard or hardly work? Yes? Ah, well, you needn't do it before I got here, you know. I'm an efficient worker, miss. I can see. She entered the office and placed her at the coat hanger. I began shaking my hands a bit, for my wrists and fingers were screaming at me. I watched as she got to the turntable, elegantly pick out a record and slowly place it on the platter of the record player. Her hands had gently reached for the needle and began playing a smooth tune to accompany us for it seemed to be another eventful evening. She returned to her seat and took out another one of her daily smokes. Want a snipe, sir? I'd rather not. Suit yourself. In the word on correspondence, Miss Monika. As being cast to move a heavy boulder up a hill, Monika sighed loudly and deeply, making sure to remove the cigarette beforehand. I just got here, sir. I didn't have the time to check. Well, if you're tired, miss, I could check for you. Don't you dare. The sound response sent a shiver down my spine, elevating my heartbeat. Needless to say, I was caught off guard. And though she hasn't been the gentlest soul, I'd never seen Monika so aggressive before. It seems you have forgotten that my personal mail is delivered here as well. I told you before that I didn't get any for you, and that surely remains to be the case. Do not bring up going through my stuff again. Sorry, miss, I thought. Clearly not enough. So much for being an investigator. Bloody hell, what does she have in her mail? Her words struck me deeply. It felt like a kid who didn't know how to behave and I was being spoken to like one as well. My gaze found itself guided to the floor. I'm sorry. It's the stress. I shouldn't have reacted that way. I brought my head up again. It's alright, miss. I understand. Atta girl. Right on cue. Hopefully we have a new case in our hands. It'd be a good opportunity to train you up, don't you think? With a smile and a quick wink, she turned to attend to the call. What just happened had me confused. A sudden whiplash of emotions as Monika, the entire other person, residing within her. But if she was going to take me to another case, maybe it wasn't all that bad. And perhaps, this time, I could prove myself. As she finished her talk, she took a moment and looked at me. Well, it seems we've got a hot one in our hands. Little miss? Yes, come on now, grab your coat, and I'll brief you while we walk. I don't have a coat. Oh. Well, shake a leg. Without thinking of him further, she grabbed her hat and took off, and I wasn't far behind. This time we walked for a while. The scenery was nothing like yesterday's. We passed through the residential area, which now showcased more and more empty abandoned houses. We're heading towards the richest parts. I've been there only a couple of times. First you see the houses get a bit bigger and taller, further away from one another as you progress. Until eventually you can't even see the houses, as they hide in the middle of acres upon acres of private lands, and you find yourself following a seemingly endless fence, marking the edges that divide the riches from rags. Unfortunately, the middle class was evaporating into poverty, thus highlighting the difference even further. So here's the details provided by the initial police survey. A high-class woman was found dead inside her mansion's library. Apparently the husband is a very successful businessman, major shareholder of a metallurgy company. He's been out with Apple for a while now, supposedly making subsidy deals with politicians. So, someone knew that the big fish was away and tried to get a piece of the riches? Beats me, I still need to see the scene, you know? Ah, right, of course. Then I need to stop assuming things, sorry. I can't help it. This could be the big one. Right. Again I had my noggin racing. Think on how this could have gone down. There is no way this time was going to be a boring case without mystery. We're at the place greeted by an iron gate with sturdy brick pillars on each side. A couple of officers were waiting there this time around. Already, the differences with yesterday's case were showing. Pleasant night, fellows. Evening, dull face. Took your sweet time. Ah, give me a break. I'm here to do my job. Hey, woo, relax. Say, how about we hit the speaks after this mess? Maybe. If it wasn't illegal, you chump. You're a cop. And... ah, forget it. So, who's the muffin? The man swiped me from top to bottom with his gaze. It amazed me how Monika could keep her cool with all this. Goons as cops. With so little morals, they may as well be mercenaries. Greetings, I'm the investigator's assistant. She's going to come along and take a look with me. She's coming after too. Keep dreaming. Anyways, tell me, have you heard anything else beside the initial report? Perhaps. Maybe a honey cooler will light up my... Pally, better keep your mouth shut if all you do is keep yapping garbage like that. Jeez, alright, lady, damn. I heard that the butter and egg man went dizzy with a name. Handmaid mentioned him and his woman having a huge argument over the phone. Good boy, finally something worthwhile out of your mouth. With a smirk on his face, the man tipped his cap and let us through. We walked across the paved road, past the fountain that led us to the enormous wooden doors. This time we had something to work with, it seemed. Already, we heard some clues. This was exciting! As we approached the pompous entrance, the door creaked open and a butler led us in. He led straight to the library for us to take a look at the scene. Yuri, no! Murder! Sorry, please. Sorry, I couldn't resist. Anyways, I've seen enough. Huh? How? Don't worry, I'll let you have your fill. Go on now, take a look. Right. Approach the body. A shocker to me, she was around our age. I had concluded that she was selling it for the dough, or her tastes were a bit more developed than most. But never mind all that, she wore a dress and a fancy arrangement of plumes as headwear. The cause of death was very clear. A vile, deep wound in the center of her chest, all the way down to her heart. Her mouth was slightly parted, strands of blood escaped from it. Her body was as fresh as if it was just found. Even the blood was wet enough to smear what it touched. Eyes left wide open. I couldn't seem to find hints of struggle, unfortunately. Walking around the room, I decided to describe to Monika what I've been observing. She had a light cigarette and was enjoying herself. Care for a word I'd rather not say, because in this context, it makes sense, but I think there's a big chance I find a couple of people who'd kill me for this, even though it does make sense that it's said here. You know, so, I'd rather not risk it, I guess. You all know how some people on the internet can be. It might ease your mind a bit. I'll have to say no. So, obviously she died of blood loss. Oh, Sherlock, tell me more. I'll take that as a compliment. I can't seem to find a weapon though, which is concerning. I'm going to make it easier for you. She killed herself out of anguish over her husband cheating on her. Oh, I don't think we can... Oh, Christ, no. I felt a cracking noise coming from under my feet beneath the rug. This is the lead. I uncovered the floor and found a bunch of crystal shards scattered, looking like they hid them in a rush. There's a sign of struggle. But, while paying attention to Monika, I began looking around the room. I could tell she was not happy. She began tapping her food while smoking a cigarette. Searching through the shelves of books, I found an all-looking case of extravagant knives and ordinary short swords. So, one of these could have been used for a deed. Right, but do you know what else this reveals? What? That she was also a nutcase. See? Case closed. No, not yet. It just doesn't fit. Sarah, listen. If they had the time to clean up the blade so Terry Lamb put it back in place, why didn't they bother to take care of the other loose ends like the crystals on the floor? I couldn't just stand there and ponder. I had to gather evidence. I had to look for more clues, so I rushed through the room. Oh, sorry, where are you going? I rushed past her, going straight to the dining hall. I needed to know. I started going through all the cutlery cabinet, searching what I was hoping to find. Have you lost your mind? Just let me do this. I'm not... You did not hire me to be your assistant just to sit around and type up stupid reports now, did ya? Silent, in awe of my brazen and unusual act of rebellion, I returned to searching the multitudes of cabinets until my eyes saw exactly what I was looking for. A wooden knife holder with a missing blade. Ah, look, miss! There is a missing blade. I knew there was something to this whole case. We have to go interrogate the servants, and I know maybe one of the maidens. Oh, perhaps the butler, or... But it was the policeman. Settle down, for God's sake. That missing blade means nothing. I told you she committed suicide because she was being cheated on. The fact she had a knack for knives proves she was not a stable person. What? No, but she was a gold digger. Being cheated on would mean nothing to her. Nothing, Sari, since you seem to think you're smart. Wouldn't she be kicked out of here if the man decided to change women? I mean, maybe, but... This discussion is over. We're heading back to the office. What the hell? This is outrageous. How could you say with so much confidence that it was a suicide? Enough. No, I'm not going to believe she committed suicide, even though it's not about what you believe. People kill themselves. It's a cruel world. Deal with it. Now shut your beak and follow me. You better write the report as I told you. The jet... Bloody hell. Oh, we're over the 20-minute mark. Bloody hell. Alright, we'll finish this next time, because there is still a bit that remains. I hope you lads and lassies enjoyed the episode. Press like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you all later. Bye-bye.